Yo, so what's going on, Battlefielders? It is Pwn, and today I want to do something a little bit different. Understand this is not my norm, goofy, random commentary. I might toss a dick joke in here or there, but this is actually going to be me dissecting my own gameplay and trying to teach you guys how to become a better player. Step number 1, don't miss the patty cake. Be a hero. But honestly, I want to dissect this gameplay as best as I can, so I'm going to take a moment to let you guys understand that this is not my normal commentary. But I get asked a lot of the time, like, hey, Bone, how can I become better at Battlefield? I can't teach you how to perfect your shot, but what I can do is teach you how to outthink the enemy and show you guys what I do. And if you pay enough attention to what I do and how I explain it, you may understand and pick something up and learn something from these videos. So if you do happen to learn or enjoy these videos, or may want to see more of these where I teach you guys how to use guns or dissect the maps and the rush routes, do me a favor and like up the video, rate it up, favorite. It really helps out, and I'm really curious whether or not you guys are going to like these or not. So if you guys would like to see more of these, let me know which map down below, and I'll try to do the best I can to get those done as well. These are going to be a little bit longer. This is about a 15-minute video. A lot of you guys say, yeah, man, I want to see longer Battlefield videos. Well, you got it. So first things first, we're going to go back in time a little bit. As you guys notice, I started this game in 50 tickets, just joined the game, pulled out my Dow 12, wanted to have some fun. And first thing I do when I spawn, I notice a guy that was dead in our hallway. So unless he's got some Angelina Jolie wanted fucking curved bullet routes, no sniper got him from the main street. Which that told me, that means we're being spawn camped. So you got to pay attention to your surroundings. You got to pay attention to your radar, where your enemies are dying. I mean, your friends. Yeah, those two. Both of them, baby. Both of them. And one of the cool little tips I can give you on Grand Bazaar right now is that nade toss I just did right now, Chuck. There's a building straight to your left where you could bank it and make it land in this doorway right there, that wall that was behind that guy. So if you wanted to, you could bank it off there, clear out this little corridor right here, and scare everybody away from it so they funnel back towards their doorway, as well as just throwing it straight over like I did. A lot of people do not use that. I've never seen anyone else use that. And I don't know if it's because they're afraid of some invisible wall up there, but do not be afraid to go about and toss a nade over top of that. It's one of the easiest ways to scare everybody away, and if you scare them away, you yourself can funnel in. Because if you keep trying to funnel through one little doorway, that's just an easy kill. You do not want to keep funneling through the high traffic zones, and that's one of the biggest flaws that I see in this map. People lose, like, fucking 75% of their tickets in the same corridor. So we're going to pull out the patty cake, double patty cake, and we're bringing them back to life because tickets matter, guys. Tickets, kill the baby seals, save the tickets. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. So what I do is we put the pressure over here. We finally get out of our spawn trap, and while we get out of their spawn trap, they're busy. They're probably back on that dirt pile trying to save themselves, or they're coming around this back route right here. So what I decided to go ahead and do is I decided to go in here and try to lock it down, do the best thing I can, and I realized with the tickets just dwindling away, falling away, we're losing them. 19, 18, right now, we're losing over and over again. What I got to do is I got to try to slay. That's one thing that I do at a very, very fine rate. I got to try to slay and I got to try to revive. So what you need to do is especially when it's getting crunch time, is you got to start reviving your teammates, even if that means reviving them on a live frag grenade. You got to try to bring them back to life. I know, I'm sorry to get a little fucking evanescence in your face, but you got to bring them back to life. That's what you got to do. So one thing that I'm going to try to do in this gameplay is teach you guys what I'm thinking while I'm doing. Now, right now we have A done, or we have B done. Now we need to go take A. Obviously, they're all going to be funneling down from the only area they can right now, and that's the middle of the street. The one thing about the middle of the street is they're either going to be camping back by those giant walls, maybe up on one of the roofs, or most of them, which is usually the occasion, are hiding on top of this giant trash pile. Now, right there, I tried to use one of my tactics that's very, very useful in this game, and not a lot of people like to use it because I don't think they're aware of the sleight of hand that you can pursue. Now I realize, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit when I actually use that advantage in a little bit. But one thing that I need to do right now is I notice all these people are dying, so I need to get out there and revive, or I need to get out there and slay. I notice our guys came around the left side, so what do I got to do? I got to do the best thing I can, and that's kill people. I'm seeing my guys continuously die over there, so I need to save the objective the only way I know how to, and that's with a gun, guys. Guns kill people, proven fact. So, I notice that they're going to be patrolling, they're going to be back there where this guy is right now, and that's what you need to know, is this is just one of the highest areas that these people like to defend, or back behind those giant concrete walls are generally the only two areas when they're defending where they want to do, and that's what's going to happen. So what you do is if you put enough pressure on those guys, you fold them back behind that dirt pile, and B becomes an easy piece of cake thing to control. Getting across A, if you come down that tunnel, easy way to get that objective. And they're not going to fool out, and they're not going to fold and run into the middle of the street, because that's going to result in a death. So logically, if you put enough pressure and you can get them to spawning on that street, they're not going to pressure you too much, and if so, then they're the ones that are having to funnel through the doorways, and you just spray into them. So if you could properly put the pressure on them, And you put the pressure on the pussy. You push them back. Well, push them back. God damn it, Pone. You push them back, and that's what's happening. Now, one thing that I'm noticing right now is I'm pushing probably the highest traffic area in the entire map, and I'm noticing I'm getting killed. One more thing I'm noticing is I'm also getting revived. We've got a bunch of medics around here that are patty cake happy right now, willing to bring them back to life on top of another life frag grenade. Just doing my part, guys. I know. So I want to peek out here as a test in the waters kind of thing. That's one thing that I do at the start of every round is I sacrifice myself. I know it may not seem logical, or you're like, what the hell, Pone? Why? It's attacking. You got to count your lives. I test the waters. I sacrifice myself to find out what's going on. I'll run across a busy street to see how many snipers there are. I'll run out to the highest traffic area to see how many guys are down that hallway. I counted 6. That's a very, very good thing. That's one more thing that people need to utilize in this. One thing that people tend to forget is the value and the use of paying attention to those kill cams. Because one guy killed me. I saw 3 in that hallway, but when I saw the kill cam, patty cake, I saw the kill cam, I saw like another 3 dudes that I didn't know were there. They had their chameleon on. They were hiding in other fucking corridors, and they managed to work their way out. So what did I do? Is I took the advantage and realized, hey, half of the team is at least in that small hallway. Let's try to take the big, wide open area. Now, that's the one thing about this map, is in almost every objective, there is one giant, large street that you need to go through with a lot of cover that can help you get down, and there's one small hallway. Which is going to be the more logical route to take? Now, the one thing is because I don't know if it's just the easiest way to get there, a lot of people try to funnel down that small hallway. I don't know what it is. But apparently guys like it tighter. True fact. But that's maybe not the smartest idea to do when you're playing Battlefield, guys. So what do? I come up here and I try to take my typical flank route. If I know they're putting pressure on this hallway, I'm going to try to get in here and plant the objective, because that's what I know how to do. And I'm paying attention to that radar. Look for those little orange carrots on your screen right there. That guy outplayed, and I managed to save the objective and survive. If I was not paying attention to that radar, I would have died right there. Now I'm paying attention to it again, and I see these guys are right back on it. I tried to get in here and save it in time. I couldn't. So what do? I come back and try to plant again, guys. I'm paying attention to the guy that's coming down this hallway, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm losing the plant. So at that point, I didn't know what was going on, but apparently I was too far away, and every time I turned, this pole just cock-blocked me from planting. So I was extremely upset about that. That managed to cost us a high chance of success. I was really, really upset about that, because that's where it was. Now, I did notice that when I was dying, there were a lot of them coming down the main street. That's where they are right now. So this is where they are. So I decided, instead of spawning back on the assault and trying to flank around and get B again, I wanted to help my team do something. And what I could do is come in here and start killing people, because just like I predicted, these guys were still here with their med packs and patty cakes ready to keep reviving me. So I feel like some invulnerable Iron Man right now, because I'm going to die, and I'm going to continue to die, but they're going to keep coming out to save me. Now, why did I jump out in the middle of the hallway again? It's another sleight of hand tactic. It's to show my teammates where these are. What do you do when you jump in the middle of the street? You take shots from everybody. What does that do? That gives away their position. Thus, that helps our people adjust and decide, hey, should I go out and revive him? No, there's a guy right over there in the corner. Let's take that guy out and then maybe revive him. You know, sacrificing yourself is a very, very important tool in a teamwork gameplay. I know you're like, how does that make sense? But it really, really does. By giving away the enemy and doing what you can, it really does help out a lot. And now I'm noticing is that this hallway was originally full of enemies. Now it's slacking. Now there's only 2 or 3 to worry about, which means they're all occupied over at A, or they're down there directly at B, which gives us the opportunity to keep attacking this and straight tanking down there. Now this guy, I don't know what he was doing. He was just happy skipping down the back side of the map where you can't even get in the damn combat area, sir. I don't know what he was so happy-go-lucky for, but he got me killed. High five, dude. High five. So I made the mistake by spawning on this guy to instant death. I thought he was sneaking around the logical way, not the way towards the end of the objective, the end of the map. And I took a hit for that. So, in turn, like I said, you got to pay attention to things. One more cool tip that I can give you guys that a lot of people do not tend to pay attention to is obviously cartwheeling. That's a total cool trick. And no, I give him the patty cake because he deserves it. One thing that you need to realize is when your enemies throw grenades, what's that going to do to the enemy? Not your enemy, but when your friendlies, when your teammates throw grenades, what's the enemy going to do? They're going to run the fuck away. But guess who's not going to be vulnerable to those grenades? That's you. So when your teammate throws a grenade, it's a great tactic if you're working with a teammate, by the way. A great tactic, as I try to say B in case there was a guy there. A great tactic is when your teammate throws an objective in a high traffic area, follow the grenade. You're like, what do you mean? Most people see a grenade, but if you notice it came from behind you or beside you, it's a friendly grenade, it can't kill you. Follow it up, because while they're running away and the grenade's there, you could shoot them in the back. One of the greatest tips I can give you guys to become better players. Not a lot of people do that. You know, our guys just threw like 2 grenades in there. One enemy threw one. I knew which one was the enemy's. I waited for that to explode. And I went out there while our guys protected. So in case there was a guy directly around that corner, he's getting blowed up by the grenade. I, on the other hand, I'm going to be able to run out there and try to take the guys that are running away from it. So right here, I normally try to funnel down and put a lot of pressure on the A objective, but I decided that if these guys were willing to spawn trap and my team is not helping out to the extent that I want them to, I got to do what I can, and I got to do what I can with the armor. Now, the armor really controls this objective right here. If you got somebody that knows what they're doing, and like this guy that actually knows that there's a gas pedal, you could take down these objectives quick as shit. Armor really, really does control this point. Can you win without it? Yeah. But the likelihood of doing so is really, really slim unless you have just an entirely garbage defensive team. But what you need to do is you need to take this armor, you need to take it around, and that's what we did right now. We just cleared out that entire cinder block concrete area where they just head glitch and take down our enemy in that small tunnel. We just opened that straight up. Guess who else opens up? Me. I opened the fucking door to get out of there. I see a guy with a mortar, and I realize my teammate's not even pushing the gas. He's standing still. He's either going to get mortared, RPG'd. Worst tank driver in history goes to that guy. I mean, you got to pay attention to what your teammates are doing, what our friends are doing, what the enemies are doing, and the biggest tool you can have is the assault right now. As you guys can tell, we have A planted, which leaves B fully vulnerable right now. I noticed about 5 or 6 on the radar over here, which means this is where a lot of them are concentrated right now. The rest of them are going to be spawning down this aisleway behind the garbage patch. So what I want to do is I want to come in here and try to bring in my slaying skills, and I want to try to keep these guys alive. Toss down some health packs, throw in some patty cakes. It's going to be a party. So what I do is I come in here and I try to do my best to cover these guys. Toss out grenades. Like I said, nobody's going to run at a grenade. So that's right there a stalling tactic in my own. And right here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get behind and I'm trying to kill these enemies off this hill, because what's going to happen is my dumb teammates are going to keep funneling out of that door, and while they have the advantage of having this hill right here, this hill provides the enemy cover, and they're going to kill you before you can get behind it and take this hill over. As long as they control that, you're going to lose 20 or 30 tickets for the next objective, and that's not a good thing. So what I decided to do is, I messed up right there. Yeah, see, I was raging. And I meant to pull out my grenade and toss a grenade over there, but apparently I forgot to do that big important tool. And that's what I did right here. I scared the guy away. Yes, funnel to where I want you to be. See, the use of a grenade is a great tool. It scares people. It's intimidating. It's like a fucking fat chick coming at you. You're like, ew, I don't want that. So what you got to do is you got to fool the enemy. You got to outplay them and outthink. The biggest thing to give you an advantage in this game is to outthink the enemy. And on Grand Bazaar, it's a really easy thing to do because of the small compact areas in the hallways. Toss grenades down them, scare them away, make them fold into corners, or run back to their spawn. One more thing to be alert about is those giant little turtle turds that they leave that explode and take out your feet. I hate claymores in this game, and some of the most annoying things ever. This guy doesn't he didn't know about the little turtle turd, and he got pooped on himself. So, you know, I come back, I put the patty cake down, and I decide I wanted to defend this because we already took the hardest one down. This one's generally really easy, but I start to think, what if I'm going to be all by myself right here again? That's right, let's spawn on top of some health and have a little bit of regenerating health in case 2 or 3 guys did come around this corner. So you got to play what you got to do. Don't forget that if you're sitting in a corner with an objective, don't forget to throw down a health. Now this is what I'm talking about, sleight of hand. I sacrificed myself right here. I knew I was going to get shot down the middle street. I'm standing wide open on the top of a ledge, I'm going to die. But I gave myself up to try to take out 2 of the guys that were camping on that hill, which would allow us to push up, take control of the hill, and shoot downwards. We then have the advantage of the hill. That hill gives us the advantage, the cover, the above head view. We have all of the vantage points right there, so we can push on and stop losing tickets. Now we have full control of this area, and we have the pressure. Now they have to regenerate, they have to recoup, they have to confine themselves into where they need to be for the next area of the map. Now this is not a tactic I normally do, but I know we just killed these guys off. And the best thing to do, the biggest tip I can give you guys for rushing on a map, especially something like Grand Bazaar that's small, is try to put the pressure down quick as hell. The first rush is the most important because it's the one that catches them off guard the most. They're still setting up their defense. They're trying to find out where their teammates are going, where they want to be. And when they're all just bi-curious like that, you got to take advantage of them. That's the best and most vulnerable time for the enemy team is at the start of the next set of objectives where you got to put the pressure on them. So what do is I formed up, I put a little pressure. That scared them off. They stayed back in that hallway. Instead of pushing up from the one guy that killed that one guy, instead of pushing up where they needed to be, they're still sitting in that hallway. How are they going to keep us back if we're continuously pushing up? And I noticed, like I was running down the middle of the street right there. Why, Pwn, are you running down the middle of the street? You should have died. I should have. But I didn't. I was testing the waters one more time. I was sacrificing myself, trying to see how many snipers there were. There was one. You might not have heard him. He was just a badass shot. So what did I do? I wanted to go right back out down the middle of the street again and rely on his accuracy to guarantee my survival to get to the objective. This is one of the more difficult ones in the map. A can be a pain in the ass because they do have the cover of this back alleyway. They really do have a lot of advantages and cover to go through there. So what you got to do is you got to try to take A first. If you can get A, B comes a little easy, armor moves up, and you can control B. When you keep them back in their spawn, there's nothing they can do about it. So that's one tip for you guys. The sooner you can get back here and you can take control of A, and the sooner you get it gone, the sooner you win this game. B is easy to get compared to A because of the spawn areas. But that's one thing, is when you have the momentum, when you catch them off guard, and you stunt their rush. Because defenders rush to get to where they want to. So when I stunted the rush on this left side over here, that's what scared them. They didn't want to push up because they're afraid that there's going to be more people there. You got to understand how people think, and when you can outthink the enemy and do what's unexpected, you're going to have the advantage. You're controlling your rushing and where you're going. They're not going to expect it. So you got to do what's unexpected to be successful, I will. So, with that little tip for you guys, I'm paying attention to where the spawns are. We're keeping these guys off of B. The last two objectives were quick as hell. We had momentum. We took down their ideas and their thoughts. That's what we did to break down Grand Bazaar. Like I said, there are hot zones. You got to do what you can. That's been a few tips. If you guys would like to see more of these, let me know. If you'd like to see the defensive routes for Grand Bazaar, let me know down in the comments below. Like I said, guys, it means a lot. If you want to see some more, just let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out, guys. Get it.